Ever scrolled through the news and just felt this wave of whoa when you hit those headlines about central bank governors?
Yeah.
It's like they're these financial masterminds, right?
Right.
But today, we're going beyond the headlines, going beyond those intimidating headlines. We're diving into a stack of resources. We've got these really insightful guides from RoleCatcher to uncover what a central bank governor actually does.
Yeah.
And how those decisions impact your daily life in a way bigger way than you might think.
Absolutely. What's fascinating about this role is that it's so much more than just numbers and economic theories.
Right.
It's about understanding the human impact of those financial decisions.
Okay, so less about textbook definitions, more about real-world effects.
Exactly.
I like it. But before we get there, let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What does a central bank governor actually do all day?
So in the simplest terms, they're the architects of a nation's monetary policy.
Okay.
They essentially control the country's money supply. How much is circulating, how much it costs to borrow.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine the economy is a car.
Okay.
The central bank governor is essentially controlling the accelerator,
Uh-huh.
the brakes,
Yeah.
maybe even fine-tuning the engine to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so if the economy is speeding towards inflation city,
Yeah.
they hit the brakes.
Exactly. They'll raise interest rates,
Right.
which makes borrowing more expensive. That encourages people to save more and spend less,
Right.
which helps to cool things down.
Yeah.
On the flip side,
Yeah.
if the economy is sluggish,
Uh-huh.
they might lower interest rates to encourage borrowing
Yeah.
and spending,
Yeah.
giving things a much-needed boost.
Well, they're like economic pilots constantly adjusting to keep us from crashing.
Right.
Or overheating, I guess. Makes sense.
Exactly.
But the guide also mentioned something about regulatory policy. What's that all about?
So that's about making sure the financial system itself is stable and trustworthy.
Okay.
They set rules for banks and financial institutions to prevent excessive risk-taking.
Uh-huh.
Think back to the 2008 financial crisis.
Right, right.
It's about making sure the system is safe and sound for everyone.
Keeping the whole financial machine running smoothly.
Yeah.
And that sounds like an incredible amount of responsibility.
It is.
The RoleCatcher guide even called it immense.
Yeah.
What are some of the other pressures that come with this job? I can only imagine. And it's not just about making these big decisions.
Right.
It's about making them under some pretty intense scrutiny.
Absolutely. You've got the weight of a nation's economy.
Right.
Millions of livelihoods resting on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Every decision is dissected by economists.
Sure.
Scrutinized by politicians.
Right.
Analyzed by the media.
Yeah.
It takes a certain kind of person to not only handle that pressure, but to thrive in that environment.
Talk about being in the hot seat. The RoleCatcher guide really highlighted those downsides.
Yeah.
The long hours,
Yeah.
the tough calls,
Right.
the potential for unpopularity.
Sure.
It makes you wonder, why would anyone sign up for this gig? What's the allure?
Well, I think it's the allure of shaping economic policy on a national, even global scale.
Yeah.
The opportunity to work with world leaders.
Sure.
To navigate complex financial landscapes, to steer entire economies towards stability and growth. That's a powerful motivator.
Okay, I get it. It's not just a job. It's a chance to really make an impact on the world stage.
Right.
But let's be real. You don't just wake up one morning and decide to become a central bank governor, right? What does that career trajectory actually look like?
Yeah, so the path to becoming a central bank governor is often long and demanding. The career stages section of the guide kind of lays it out like climbing the levels of a very specialized, very high-stakes career ladder.
Okay, so where does one even begin on this ladder to financial supremacy?
Well, it usually starts with a solid foundation in economic theory, a master's degree,
right,
or even a PhD is increasingly becoming the norm.
Okay.
Then you might enter the field as an entry-level analyst at a central bank, a government institution, or even a private firm, think.
Yeah.
Poring over data.
Okay.
Contributing to research.
Yeah.
Getting a feel for the financial system from the ground up.
Starting with the nitty-gritty, paying your dues.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can see how that kind of experience would be invaluable.
Absolutely. And as you gain expertise, you might move up to becoming a policy advisor.
Okay.
Contributing more directly to those big economic decisions.
So less like fetch me a coffee and more. Here's my in-depth analysis of the potential impact of us adjusting interest rates.
Exactly. And if you really excel, demonstrate exceptional leadership, and navigate those complex political waters effectively, you might eventually find yourself leading a department, managing a team, and shaping key policy initiatives.
So it sounds like a combination of technical expertise, sharp instincts,
definitely,
and maybe a little bit of luck to reach those top levels.
Perhaps, yeah.
But the guide also mentioned some real-world examples of this career progression.
They did, yeah.
Is there anything that stood out to you?
They highlighted a fascinating case study of a current central bank governor who actually started in their research department.
Wow.
Way back when. Years of meticulous data analysis, economic modeling. And eventually their policy recommendations caught the eye of those in higher positions.
Wow.
Talk about playing the long game.
That's amazing. It really highlights the importance of that strong foundation.
Yeah.
Of mastering those analytical skills early on.
Absolutely.
But I have to admit, when I think central bank governor, I think economics degrees, a head for numbers.
Sure.
But the functions and core abilities section in the RoleCatcher guide listed some skills that I wouldn't necessarily associate with the role. Okay, hit me with the unexpected. What else does it take to be a financial maestro?
Well, right at the top. Active listening.
Okay.
It's crucial for central bank governors to be truly present and engaged when hearing from their teams, advisors, even the public.
That's interesting. In my head, I pictured someone like laser focused on spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Not necessarily someone who's like a master listener.
Right.
Why is that so important?
Because when your decisions have such widespread consequences, you can't afford to be stuck in an ivory tower.
Right.
A central bank governor needs to understand the concerns of businesses, the anxieties of everyday people, the perspectives of different political factions.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the human impact of those economic theories that we talked about.
That makes a lot of sense. You've got to have a finger on the pulse of what's actually happening out there.
Right.
Not just what the economic models are saying.
Exactly.
What else surprised you?
They also emphasized customer service.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Customer service?
Yeah.
Are we talking like comment cards on how people are feeling about inflation?
Not quite, but they need to be able to communicate those complex economic concepts clearly and effectively to the public, to the government, basically manage expectations and inspire confidence.
Okay.
That takes some serious interpersonal skills, not just economic theory.
Okay, customer service for a whole nation's economic well-being.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Right.
It's not just about being good with numbers.
Yeah.
It's about understanding people, too.
Absolutely.
And administrative skills were also mentioned.
Right.
I would not have put that on my central bank bingo card.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that these are large institutions with complex internal workings.
Right.
They're managing teams, budgets, mountains of paperwork, probably.
Right.
Those skills are essential for any leadership position, especially one with such high stakes.
It makes you really appreciate the breadth of experience they're looking for. But let's say you've checked all those boxes.
Right.
You've got the education, the experience, even those like more unexpected skills. How do you even land an interview for a job like this?
Thankfully, the RoleCatcher interview guide kind of gave us a glimpse into those hallowed halls.
Yeah.
They actually included real questions from past interviews.
Ooh, juicy. Do they make them, like, solve for X while balancing the national budget on a giant calculator?
Not quite that dramatic, but the questions are designed to really probe how a candidate thinks and reacts under pressure. For example, one question was, how do you stay up to date in a constantly changing financial landscape?
Right. It's not like the world of finance takes a break. I'd probably be citing everything from, like, The Economist to, like, FinTalk influencers just to prove I'm in the loop.
It speaks to that commitment to lifelong learning that the guide emphasizes.
Right.
A central bank governor needs to be adaptable, constantly absorbing new information and adjusting their strategies accordingly.
Okay, that one makes sense. What other curveballs did they throw at these aspiring financial masterminds?
Another good one was describe a time you had to make a difficult, potentially unpopular decision.
Okay.
You know, they're digging for stories of courage, sound judgment.
Right.
The ability to stand by your convictions, even when the pressure is on.
Oof. Yeah, in that job, almost every decision has the potential to be unpopular with someone.
Right.
You can't please everyone, especially when you're dealing with something as complex as the global economy.
It really highlights the weight of responsibility that comes with this position.
Yeah.
But it's that ability to navigate those choppy waters, to make those tough calls based on solid analysis and a broader vision that truly sets a central bank governor apart.
This has been eye-opening. We've gone from vague notions of monetary policy to understanding the very human blend of skills and experience it takes to even be considered for this role.
Right.
But before we wrap up, what's the thought you're leaving our listeners with today?
Well, everything we've discussed kind of points to a very traditional career path, right?
Right.
But as technology reshapes, finance, AI, blockchain, you name it, could we see unconventional individuals rise to these roles?
Interesting.
Imagine a tech entrepreneur or a data scientist at the helm of a central bank.
Yeah.
What challenges and opportunities might that present?
Now that's something to ponder. Could we see a future where coding skills are as valuable as economics degrees for a central bank governor? That's fascinating. This deep dive has been quite a journey, and I think we've all learned a lot more about the humans behind high finance. Thanks for joining us today.